one.
Hey everybody, it's TR again from T-Man. Brandon and Sierra did a short video last week on our new transmission vent drain. So I wanted to kind of just go over a little bit of insight on it, how to install it, how I route the lines, and then the two different options that it can be used on. First of all, I want to kind of explain this to you. This bolts onto the top of your transmission housing, and these hoses here are basically vent hoses that can be run off of your air cleaner spacers, which I'll show you in a moment, or they can be run off of the head external breathers that we put in all of our Milwaukee heads, which I also will show you. Some of our customers already know what I'm talking about. But I wanted to show you how this worked because some of the questions that we got, people were asking, well, how do you run that back into your transmission? Keep in mind, this is not running back into the transmission. The top of the M8 transmission is divided into three areas, and then that you'll see right here. This is the area that the vents they're dropping into, and then that drains right directly back into your oil tank. There's a drilled hole that goes from the top and goes back to the oil tank. This side of it here is basically for the transmission that passes over here, and then it vents out the top. So those are two separate areas, and the gasket divides all of that. So there is not an issue with the motor oil going into the transmission, just for your information. But that was a good question. So the way that I like to do that is if you come back here, Sierra will try to get in here. I route the lines, and what I do is I come off and I use two of the little ties that we will supply that both have the little pieces that press into the frame. The holes are already in the frame, and I just loop them up real nice and bring them up the backbone, and then there's another hole in the bottom of the frame which is already there, and you just press that up, and then I tie it off here. And as you'll see, I route one over the front head and one over the rear head. I usually go above the oil or the water cooled lines. And then if you come over here, after they come through here, if you're running our air cleaner, and this is a product that we are getting ready to release when we get back from Daytona, we will supply you the fittings that you see right here. They'll have the nipples on them, and as you can see here, they come right over, and then the hose hooks right onto the nipple. So that way, and then you'll get bolts that are halfway drilled so that when the motor breathes, it blows it up and over and in, okay? So that will all come as a kit, the bolts, the spacers, and everything you'll need there. So that is kind of the air cleaner, the way that the air cleaner mounts. As you can see, it will be very nice and clean the way it routes. You won't see the hoses. I like to run my hoses up. That way you don't have anything down here showing. And then that will just, that mist will blow right back into your top of your transmission housing, which does drain into your oil tank. So that's a nice fix. Now, if you are having a set of our heads done, in all of our Milwaukee 8 heads, we put the external breathers. This is just something that we do in all of our heads. So if you have a set of our heads, then you would not use the spacer kit. You would use basically just run the hoses off of the external head breathers here. Now keep in mind, if you're running a HPI air cleaner or any other air cleaner that has the vent spacers, you can utilize this trench top. It's not just used for our air cleaner. It can be utilized on anyone else's air cleaner. So that's kind of a quick overload. I know that was kind of an overload, but if you have any questions, please let me know. It's pretty cut and dry, and I think you'll find that it will work real nice for the guys who don't want to remove their inner primaries and drill those hoses and put them in down there. It just makes for a much cleaner installation and a nicer, clean, dry running motor. Thank you.